stuck here. The cops won't bother me.
Man, what a terrible looking day. It's like British weather here in DC. And I'm finally riding my 250. You know, like this bike, I haven't ridden it in a while because I've been more interested in the Shadow. And not that, you know, the Shadow's more fun. They're both fun in very different sort of ways. You know, I prefer the Ninja, the handling, and I like the styling of sport bikes a little bit more than cruisers. But the V-twin of the Shadow is quite a honking motor. Then you got the shaft drive and all of that. So I gotta give this one some love. I can't believe it's only got 7,600 miles, so not a lot. Know that the weight is not as low as I thought. You know, it just feels lower. You know, I've ridden GSX-Rs and all of that. They feel heavier. And when you ride a GSX-R, you go like, man, this is much heavier. But of course, you do have much more power. But it feels like it's a much heavier bike. I don't know why exactly, because the wet weight is actually kind of similar to this one. I forgot what this is. I think it's like 400 something. Oh, or something low, or 390 or something like that. It's low. This is not a heavy bike, but when you ride it, it feels like a much lighter bike. And I think it's because the engine is so small that the center, like the way it operates, is a little bit nicer and very free. Look at this, they painted the lines here. That's really nice. Everybody should be riding 250, especially on the street. You don't really need more. I think the only downside is that on the highway, it feels like it's going to grenade itself because it's so high revving. You know, right now I'm going 55 and I'm at 6,000 RPMs, and it really screams. And can you imagine if you had like an exhaust on it? I have the stock exhaust, and the stock exhaust, it's kind of whiny. But I do like the way Ninja 250s, when they're revving really high, they really sound like very fast sport bikes without being fast. It's a very like high-pitched sound though. It's neck. If you're really into like handling and learning to properly ride, a Ninja 250 like this is a great teacher of riding. And a lot of people, you know, they, even when they get 250s, they get 250s for a very short amount of time, and then they just get something big, which is not a great idea. And even the old Ninja 250s I really liked. I had an 02, and I actually bought the 02 after I had my 08. I was so interested in the Ninja 250s, but the old gen Ninja 250s make much more sense for touring and commuting than the newer ones like this. Because the old Ninja 250s, the valves are very easy to adjust. You can do them with just a screw and a wrench. And they have center stands, which is something that these don't have anymore. A center stand is just so nice to have on a bike. Once you have a center stand on a motorcycle, then you start to wonder why you've been buying bikes without center stands. Like when you want to take your tires out, when you want to remove the forks, the center stand, boom, put it on there, it's perfect. Yeah, man, these Ninja 250s are just so fun to ride. And everybody's like, oh, I need at least a 1000, I need at least a 750. But they don't know the beauty of these little bikes. You know, whenever I see a guy riding a Ninja 250, I think, oh, there's a guy that doesn't have a big ego on him. You know, you get the same sort of like bad egos. Like you see a lot of guys on Hayabusas that shouldn't be on Hayabusas, and that have 1000s, that shouldn't have 1000s. But you get the same sort of mentality in the ADV segment. You have these guys on BMW GSs that should not be on BMW GSs. It's all just like an image game to them. It's as if like their manhood, it has a lot more to do with the size of their bike. And I just can't see those guys being humble enough to get a Ninja 250 and ride it. Ah, you fucker. Oh, that's a Yamaha T100. That's a really nice truck. Yeah, like, you can't have a ego when you are riding a Ninja 250. It requires just so much input from the rider. You know, there's a lot of guys that they like cars to be mechanical. They like it to be 5-speed. They like it to be 6-speed. They like to have, like, you know, the Porsche, old Porsches, the way they sound. But a 250, the way it behaves is very much like an old school car that's very mechanical. It's one of these bikes that, look at that. I mean, this thing, it doesn't get more pure than this when you're riding. It's just the type of bike that makes riding fun. A lot of people forget that. Then they go off and they buy like touring bikes with electric windscreens. But something like this, man, it makes so much sense. It just feels like that type of bike that you can go out, ride for 200 miles on $6 worth of gas and have just as much fun riding this as any other bike out there. And you'll probably be a better rider for it because this thing requires a lot more input. But that's what makes riding fun, is the input from the rider, right? Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Oh, this is a school zone. I should probably not rev this bike.